Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Top 10 Tuesday episode. Yeah, this is episode 91. And for this week, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite folklore horror films, or folk horror films, however you want to put it. So just recently, I actually had somebody ask me what folk horror was, or what folk horror films were. So basically, I kind of steered him in this direction and kind of gave him like a pure definition of what it really is. And I'll just read this out here. A folk horror can be categorized as a story that contains or is influenced by folklore, superstition, or ancient beliefs and practices. And it usually can contain like witchcraft, magic, and pagan rituals. It can be in an isolated or rural setting, characters who belong to secret societies, groups, or cults, and it can reference to megalithic stone structures like standing circles and burial mounds and things like that. So those are the type of things that you'll find in folk horror films. So if you weren't 100% sure on what it was, hopefully you have a general idea of what it is now. So with that said, the reason why I kind of gave a definition for it, because I didn't want people to be very confused on what this was. But yeah, so hopefully you understand. And without further ado, let's get right into this top 10. First up here, we got one from 1963, and it is a film called The Curse of the Crying Woman. This is a Spanish flick, I should say a Mexican film. Of course, I guess I speak Spanish. Yeah, this one is basically about the legend of the crying woman. It is what it is. You know, it's the legend is that there's, you know, this woman out in the woods and she's crying and things like that. It's pretty self-explanatory. The storyline in this film is about a woman that inherits this mansion, and of course it's all haunted and things, and then, you know, comes full circle with the crying woman legend and things like that. This is a really cool mood type, atmospheric Spanish horror film, or Mexican horror film. It is, it's very cool, man. I really enjoyed this film. It's awesome. You never check this out, give it a shot if you're into these very atmospheric kind of, I guess it in a way, it's kind of a slow burn. But very, very cool stuff. Love this legend. There's actually lots of Mexican films about the crying woman, so yeah. But yeah, The Curse of the Crying Woman, 1963. Check it out. That one's actually still readily available. I don't believe it's out of print, so that was number 10. In at number 9 is from the Vincent Price Collection, Volume 3. And we are going to go with Cry the Banshee. Yes. This one, of course, dealing with witches and stuff like that. Vincent Price plays kind of an asshole in this film. He massacres this whole coven of witches. And the leader of the coven basically puts a curse on them and says that they're going to come back and exact revenge. And yeah, so, you know, Cry the Banshee, very cool film. I love it, man. Such a good film. I think I almost like it more than Witchfinder General. I know that's probably blasphemy to some people, but I really like Witchfinder General. I think I've just seen it too many times. I don't know what it is, but Cry the Banshee, man, I really highly recommend that one. Give it a shot if you like these type of films. Awesome stuff from the Vincent Price Collection, Volume 3. Awesome film. So that was number 9. In at number 8 is going to be, well, more of a modern film here. And basically what I kind of did in this list was I picked 5 older films and I picked 5 kind of more modern folk horror films. So in at number 8 is Kill List. Now, some people are probably going, really? Folk horror? Without saying too much, this one kind of gets into that territory big time in the third act. So I don't really want to say too much about this one. I just want to highly recommend Kill List. It's a fantastic film. The basic premise of the film is about a hitman who botched a job about a year earlier. Then he gets another chance to kind of redeem himself. He's been having a really rough year. So he, you know, they also tell him he's going to get a really big payout for this. So he's got 3 people to kill, and yeah, the shit goes down from there. So this one has just got a fantastic ending. I know that doesn't really sound much of a folk horror film, but yeah, check it out. Kill List, really fantastic film from, I believe, 2000 and when did this one come out? 2012. Yep, 2012. So check it out. Really cool film. All right, that was number 8. In at number 7 is a film from 1970, and yeah, really cool one, and that is the Dunwich Horror, not Murders in the Rue Morgue. The Dunwich Horror is a really awesome film, and I love this movie so much. It's really cool stuff about this crazy ass dude that basically kidnaps this girl to use her in his plan to set forth some major evil having to do with witches and, you know, evil satanic things. And don't want to say too much about it, but the Dunwich Horror, give it a shot. It's fantastic. I love the ending of this film. It's just really, really good stuff. Love the setting, and the house is in a very rural area, and dealing with all these type of things is pretty awesome. Dunwich Horror. In at number 7. And at number 6 is another modern horror film. And in my opinion, it's one of the better modern kind of folk horror films that's come out. There's actually lots that come out. They say like the big heyday was like in the 60s, maybe the early 70s is kind of when all the big ones were. But, you know, there's some really good modern ones. And this one right here was one when I first saw it. I really liked it, but I love this movie so much more. And it is called Jug Face. Such a fantastic film from 2013. I think actually in 2013, a lot of people had this as their favorite film of that year. And I can kind of see why. Like, it's really interesting. Basically about this group of people that live in this very secluded kind of rural area. And they have this hole in the ground. And what they have to do, or what they believe, is that if they sacrifice somebody to this hole, it'll keep their community safe. And how they do that is when your face appears on a jug, it's kind of like molded into a jug, you're next to die. And the people in the community just accept this. Well, in this film, or in the film, this girl right here, she does not accept that. She finds out that she's next to be sacrificed. So she tries to escape this area, and then shit kind of goes down. Really, really fantastic film. I love this film. I've watched it a few times, and like I said, I can totally see why people have this in high regards for 2013 films, because it's a really good one. It's a strange film. It's really, really strange. It's acted well. The atmosphere is awesome. It's got this really weird feeling to it. It's just kind of offsetting, and it's awesome. Really, really good stuff. Never seen Jug Face? Give it a shot. It's fantastic. So that was number 6. And then number 5 is another one you're probably thinking, really folklore? But it really is, man. This is a folk horror film. And it's, you know, you just kind of have to think about it, but not really. Rare Exports. This is one of my favorite Christmas horror films of all time. This is a Finnish film, and it's kind of like the legend of Krampus, or the mythology of Krampus, or however you want to put it. You know, he got Petrie here, and his father one day discovered that all the reindeer had been slaughtered. They soon later discover that there's this, they're digging up they're looking for some, but anyways, Krampus kind of escapes this mountain where they're doing this keep wanting to say expedition. I don't think that's the right word though. Anyways, so it you know, he escapes, and now they got to figure out a way to kind of stop him. So they gather up some people and they set out to hunt him down. But there's like all these evil elves and crazy shit like that. But yeah, it's basically about the legend of Krampus, and it's just a fantastic film. It's very, very strange. It's not like your stereotypical Christmas horror film at all. This one is so different. It's just got the coolest atmosphere. It's got one of the coolest endings. And in fact, the short films that inspired this are so awesome too. They need to be seen once you watch this film, because it's just for a good smile. It's just such a unique story. Rare Exports, awesome stuff. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I know this is out of print, but I know you can still find them every once in a while. This is just a DVD. I never did grab the Blu-ray, fortunately, but yeah, Rare Exports, fantastic stuff. In at number 5. In at number 4 is a film. I know this one right here has so many mixed opinions on it, and it's probably because I always say it's because it's a mainstream film. Any type of mainstream film that gets love also gets a shitload of hate, and I understand it. I mean, it makes complete sense to me. Me personally, I love this movie. I loved everything about this film. I thought it was fantastic, and that is The Witch from this year. This movie was fan-fucking-tastic. Really, really good. So I can't stress, everything about this movie was good. The acting, the atmosphere, the story was really interesting. I did have one little minor quirk, little beef with the ending, just the way it was kind of executed at points. But otherwise, it was really good. I like the way the story was developed. It was very creepy. And it was exciting, you know, even though it was slow and kind of slow paced and stuff, because you didn't really know exactly where it was going, and I really enjoyed that. Basically about this family that's kind of ostracized from their village or whatever. They go out into this rural area, start living their lives, and their little boy disappears, and then the whole family kind of starts turning on each other because, well, things are happening. Awesome film. The one thing about this film that really blows my mind is the dialogue. The dialogue is so bang on to the times that this was set in that it's almost crazy weird. I know a lot of people disagree that, they hated this film, they, blah, 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 but, this is all opinions. I personally love this film. Thumbs down the video if you don't care. I don't give a shit. Yeah, The Witch, in at number 4. And number 3 is probably one of my favorite films from 2000 up until now. So of the last, 16 years. This is a Swiss horror film. And I believe this is like one of the very first ones ever, really. And it's called Sen and Tunchi. This is just such a crazy, awesome, strange... Everything about this movie is strange and weird. But it's got a really good kind of folk atmosphere to it, and it's really interesting. Basically what it is about this girl, she kind of wanders into this small village, and this cop takes upon himself to find out who she is, and he takes an interest into her, and from then on it just spirals into like crazy things. Actually, the way it's described on the back is pretty cool. It says, it is the beginning of a murder, it is the beginning of a nightmare filled with sanctimonious madness, hypocrisy, abuse, and demonism that threatens to end the dreams of two lovers and drag the whole village into the abyss. I love the way they describe that because that's so true. That doesn't mean much to you right now if you haven't seen it, but this is a movie that, honest to God, you have to watch at least twice to fully understand. The first time I watched it, I was confused on a few things. Rewatched it, it totally made sense, and I've watched it probably 5 or 6 times. It is such a fucking cool film. It's just something, it's one of those ones that you just don't see every day. It's definitely different, and that's cool, man, because it's from Switzerland. It's one of the very first horror films ever. I think probably not one of the first ones ever made there. I think it's one of the first ones ever to come out, make it into the world. So, yeah, Sen and Tunchi, check it out. Love every second of that film. It's great. That's number 3. And number 2 is the obvious Wicker Man. What can I say? I mean, this movie seems to pop up in so many of my top 10 Tuesdays because it just fits in so many damn categories. It's amazing. But yeah, The Wicker Man, fantastic. Christopher Lee kills this film. Absolutely love this one. If you don't know what it's about, just go watch it because I don't want to sit here and describe it again. But yeah, The Wicker Man from, when did it come out? 1973. I always think it's 1972. 1973, Wicker Man. It's amazing. Religious cult stuff. It's awesome. Awesome. And at number 2, and of course, in at number 1 is a film by one of my favorite directors of all time, and that's Black Sunday. With Barbara Steele. It's got one of the most amazing opening scenes from a film like of all time. It's just so brutal the way it goes down. Basically, Barbara Steele plays a witch that is put to her death by her brother in a very, very cruel and unforgiving way in the beginning of the film. It's just fantastic the way it goes down. She gets spikes in her face. I won't give it away, but anyways, she's awakened by 2 travelers sometime in the future, and shit starts going down from there. It's really cool. The setting, the atmosphere, just the whole story of this is fantastic. The effects are really cool in this too. It's just creepy as all living fucking hell, though. It's just one of those films that I can watch over and over and over again. I've stated this many times, but Black Sunday is it's a masterpiece to me. It's a 10 out of 10. I can't stress how much I love this film. Really, really fantastic. So that's going to do it for my top 10. Now, I know there's a million films I could have made this list, and there was a lot that I cut. I mean, everything from Witchfinder General. I love that film. Like I said, I think I do prefer Cry the Banshee, though. I don't know why. There's even more modern ones, like, even The Guardian could be considered to be a folk horror film. Just the story of that one is kind of falls into that. Mark of the Devil is another one that I really like. Horror Hotel, things like that. I mean, they just keep going on and on and on. There's so many old ones because that's what they did back in the day. They made a lot of horror film based off legends and superstitions and things like that. And of course, Witch and which films, but do a quick little round out of the top 10 here. In at number 10, The Curse of the Crying Woman. Number 9, Cry the Banshee. Number 8, Kill List. Number 7, Dunwich Horror. Number 6, Jug Face. Check it out if you haven't, it's awesome. Number 5, Rare Exports. Number 4, The Witch. Number 3, Sen and Tunchi. If you have not seen this, run out, buy 5 copies, which will probably be impossible since it's out of print, but if you find this, do yourself a favor and pick it up. Number 2, The Wicker Man, and of course number 1 is Black Sunday. So that is going to do it for my top 10 folk horror films. Leave comments down below. Tell me what some of your favorite ones are, because I'd like to know. It's a very interesting topic this week. And I know a lot of people were telling me that they really couldn't even do a top 10 this week, and I was like, you know what, if you fully knew what the definition was, that might help you out. And there's a lot of films you might not even think that are folk, but fit into the categories, so, you know, just think about it, and it's a very cool subgenre. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it. I'm rambling on. Peace. See you guys next week. Yeah.